the title of the case is Sally Wortman versus Anthony Little and the Imperials. What building is this, Miss Wortman?
That's where Elwood Staffing is at. It's the former Manpower used to be there. And then
So is this a private residence or is this a commercial lease?
no, he broke his foot and he was doing paperwork for Elwood Staffing so that he could get workers' comp, get paid weekly.
Well, was he
He
living
wasn't
in the
like-
Elwood? Was he living in the, he's living in the Elwood Staffing office suite?
No, that was the only way I knew how to get a hold of him.
Well, where does he live?
He never mentioned to me, I know he was staying at someone's house 40 minutes from Sturgis. And I didn't bother asking him, and then I blocked him. I
Well,
blocked his phone
through
call.
this, you're asking to evict him from 307 West Chicago Road, Suite.
No, I'm asking to evict him from 23296 US 12 West.
That's not what you filed.
Well, the clerk out here had me fill out the paperwork. Well, she helped me.
All right, well, here you go. Address or description of premises, 23296 US 12 Sturgis. Okay. And you own those premises?
Yes,
All right. So this is your same house?
yes.
All right, boy, this isn't clear here. She did a judgment, but it's got the wrong address on it. Let me see what kind of service we have. I don't think he was personally served. All right, he's subject to being evicted. He's not here. Where is he?
That I couldn't tell you.
Does he have property there?
Yes. 4 motorcycles, a Jeep. He only took his summer clothes with him. So he's got all of his winter clothes, a bunch of coats. He's got his mom passed away 2 years ago. So he's got
Now,
all
who is he to you?
nothing.
Is he not related to you?
No, he's not related to me.
All right, how long did he live there?
A year. But I'd asked him to move out before that. But I couldn't get him to move, so that's why I brought it to court.
All right, well, he isn't here, so he's subject to default. He has 10 days to vacate, or you can come to the court and ask that he be evicted and his property be put out in the street. I'm gonna have the clerk change the address on here. It's not 307 West Chicago Road.
No, that's where he actually got served at.
All right, well, that's not where he's being evicted from. He's
No.
being evicted US 12. 10 days from today is September 25th. So he just up and left all of his stuff there?
Well, he tried to make contact with me, but like I said, I didn't want to talk to him. Because he was wanting to move back in and I didn't want to hear it.
Well, you have to have communication from him. He has a right to come get his property out of there.
The last communication I had with him was right before the US 12 sale, because I told him he could come and sell his stuff if he wanted to. And he said, no, he didn't want to sell his stuff, he wanted to keep everything. So I told him, I said, well, you're gonna have to find some place to put it. And he said he didn't have nowhere to put it.
All right, well, this is messy. If he doesn't vacate, he's subject to being evicted, which is when the sheriff comes and always puts his stuff out of there. But you can't hide from him. If he tries to contact you, you need to talk to him. Allow him to come get his property.
All right, I'll unblock him and I'll let him know he has to come get his stuff.
Yes. But he knew about this hearing because he was personally served with it.
Yeah, actually
So-
twice. Because the process server served him and then he called me while I was at the post office sending more paperwork to the 307 Chicago.
All right. Well, I'm not exactly sure what we got here. No lease, you're living in the same house. He's got what could potentially be valuable property plus personal property. But yeah, he's got to have a right to get it out of there. And trust me, it's a lot easier for having him come get it than have the sheriff park it on the curb. That's not a good way to deal with it.
Okay, and also, I want to be compensated financially for the money that I gave him, because the truck he's driving, I paid for.
All right, that's a small claims matter, not part of a landlord-tenant matter.
Okay,
If you're suing him for rent, you could be part of this.
there's no
I think-
rent. I
Well,
didn't charge
then,
him rent.
yeah, if you lend him money or you gave him stuff and you want to be compensated for it, you have to file that in the small claims court rather than the landlord-tenant court.
But what if it's over, what if it's close to 20,000? That is.
Well, you can sue, no, small claims is up to $7,000. If
So I'd
it's
have
up
to get
to
a-
23,000, you can file in general civil court. But then you're gonna have a tiger by the tail, because you have to file proper pleadings in a general civil case. Small claims is much more relaxed. Plus, it's not, well, I don't know, maybe you'll get $23,000 out of them, but you could sue for up to $25,000 in district court and up to $100 million in circuit court. But you can sue for $7,000 without a lawyer in small claims court. Anyway, if you go out to the counter, the clerk will give you a copy of this order saying that he has 10 days to move or he's subject to being evicted.
Okay,
All right, good luck.
all right, thank you. What do I,
Just a minute. Motorola just showed up. What's your name, sir? Motorola G-Play 2024.
My name is Anthony Lee Little.
Well, Mr. Little, you're late for your own party.
It's supposed to
We
be,
just spent 10
it's
minutes
supposed to
talking
be
about you.
1:35, but I tried to check in around 12 o'clock.
Let's see, it was set for 1:25. All right, let's bring Miss
Sorry,
Wortman back.
I guess I did miss it, but I was trying to be in there just after 12.
Well, you missed it. Elaine, would you send Miss Wortman back in? Mr. Gann, I'm sorry, we got sideways. This last defendant late for his hearing. I thought we were done.
No problem, Your Honor.
I'm just trying to retain my property.
All right, well, what I ruled, the pleadings were unclear. But she's evicting you from her house at 23296 US 12. Now that you're here, I've got to advise you of your rights as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. Mr. Ashbrook, can you hear me?
Mr. Little, Anthony Little.
Yeah, there's another guy here named Sheldon Ashbrook. And
Yes, I can hear you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna advise you both of your rights as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. You have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot pay for one, you may see if you can get assistance from legal aid or other legal services. We do not have court-appointed attorneys in civil cases. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first court appearance, make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives your obligation to pay the fee due to inability to pay it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted, wrongful non-payment of rent. This would apply to Mr. Ashbrook. You may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or if you're a veteran, you may possibly get veterans assistance. You do not need a judgment against you to get help from these places. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are sufficient. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested, we can set that up. And it also could result in what's known as a conditional dismissal if the parties are able to reach a resolution. We can assist in preparation of that. Whoops, give me a second. All right, what Miss Wortman says, Mr. Little, is you've been living there for about for about a year with no lease and no rent, and she wants you to move. She says you've got a number of items there, including a Jeep and some motorcycles and some other things. And
Yes,
she
sir.
wants you to move your property.
Well, my health condition, when I was forced out of there on 7/7, I was supposed to be in surgery on 7/8, and I have a severely broken foot, and I can't put no pressure on her or nothing. And I have all my stuff is documented, and she sent all my mail away. Well, I still had the address, and cost me 2 insurance policies. I got knocked out on my Medicaid and almost my truck insurance, and she sent my truck title back and 2 payroll checks, and she's done everything she could do to stall for time. And my whole entire property and my life is there. And also my mom died just before her dad did. And everything that I own and stuff is there.
Your truck
Well,
insurance was in my name.
Miss Wortman,
My
I didn't ask you, Miss
policy.
Wortman, I didn't
Yeah,
ask you anything. We're not sitting around the kitchen table. We're in a court hearing. And what he's alleging is you violated the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act, the anti-lockout law. How did you come to live there, Mr. Little?
Well, her and I lived as husband and wife. We met each other at work, and that's what we were living as, husband and wife. And she never even served me the original papers.
All right, that's all right. She just said there was no relationship. Okay, so you're not a tenant. You're what's called a tenant at sufferance. You don't have a lease. You're not paying any rent. She owns the house and she wants you to move. She
Well, I
served
did.
it on.
I
Yes, now
left
you said she forced you out on July 7th. How was that?
7/7, and it's all on video. Her daughter and her daughter's husband, and I haven't even had any protection. I have a registered firearm there, and she won't even give me any of my stuff. She won't even give me my clothes or nothing. And she's been stalling for time this whole time because she just wants to take all my stuff. So I don't
All
even
right.
have any.
So,
I don't even
all
have
right.
any pants. I don't even have no clothes to wear to be presentable in court today, Your Honor.
All right, well, you're here by Zoom, even if you were late. So what do you mean she forced you out?
Well, that's what happened. Her daughter and her husband pulled in behind me in the Jeep. She was supposed to take me to the hospital, and it's all on documentation with the doctors and stuff. And I missed my surgery, and I almost didn't even get my surgery. I had 2 days to find somebody to help me because you have to have someone to drive you
All
there
right,
and stay.
so what, they just said, leave and don't come back?
Yeah, and they gave me a little bit of clothes in a basket, and it wasn't even my clothes. And I've been living with no clothes and living in my truck and everything. with a broken foot, and I didn't even have a cast on it, and her daughter's husband wouldn't even let me out of my truck. And
All right, well,
said,
stop. They can't do that.
well, they did it.
Well, all
and,
right, all right. Now I'm
and
gonna
she
try to
didn't.
get
She
to,
didn't even serve me the papers.
all right,
And
stop. You're here now. She's here now. She didn't follow the law. You can't just throw somebody out like that. She says there was no relationship at all. Apparently you were in some sort of relationship. She blocked you from email or other messages so you couldn't communicate with her.
everything.
She did will you stop interrupting me, sir? This is a court hearing. If you
I
were here, maybe
apologize.
it would be
I-
more.
I didn't want to do it on the
stop.
phone, Your Honor.
All right, stop. What she did was called an unlawful eviction. You can't just throw somebody out like that when they have a tenancy. However, you got to get your stuff out of there. I told her that she needs to allow you to remove your property. She has to give you access. You were a tenant. You weren't a trespasser. You were living there as part of a relationship. The relationship ended. She wanted you out and threw you out. But she's got all your stuff. You need to get your stuff and get it out of there so you can end this relationship. Miss Wortman, you're not gonna like this much, but he's entitled to a 7-day adjournment before I execute the date for the removal of the property. Mr. Little, how soon can you get your stuff out of there?
Well, see, I've been at a disadvantage this whole time because my foot is severely broken and it has 15 broken bones in it and more stuff than that. I have a big list, and I
All
was
right,
supposed to
never
sleep
mind.
in my truck, and I
All
could have had
right,
a
all right.
blood clot.
She also wants to sue you for $23,000, but that's a separate issue from this. We need to keep this case moving, even though it hasn't been done right. And at some point, we need to get this resolved. Today's the 15th.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna continue this matter for 1 week.
Well,
Uh,
I
Stop.
would like to come in the courtroom and see you, Your Honor.
Well, you have a chance to next Monday at 2:15.
Okay, I'll be there in person.
All right, now
I'll-
let me tell you what happens next. That's 9/22/25 at 2:15. You would get 10 days from that day to get your stuff out of there, or she could seek an eviction where the sheriff comes and puts all your stuff out of there. So Miss Wortman, you need to let him come get his clothes, his motorcycles, his property. So the law says that the defendant is entitled to at least 1 7-day adjournment. He's not in the position to immediately get his stuff out of there. So I'm going to adjourn it for a week, but I'm going to tell you next week, you have 10 days from the 22nd of September to get your stuff out, or she can have the sheriff haul it out.
The
I
22nd
told-
of September.
Yes, that's our next hearing, next Monday at 2:15.
Thank you.
So Ms. Wortman will address the matter further. You need to allow him to contact you, make arrangements to get his stuff out of there, and see if we can. Mr. Little, do you have any people anywhere?
All my family died, and she was like the only friend I have. So,
All right. Well, I wish I had a better answer for you. But at some point, you need to get your stuff out of there.
well, I've been
And
trying.
All right, I told her she needs to let you do it. All right, we'll do it in court next week, September 22nd at 2:15. You're both free to go.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. And I'm sorry I was late.
Yeah, be here on time next time. You kind of got us a little sideways here.
Well,
Thank you.
I apologize, but
Okay,
What about his mail?
you hold on to his mail. We'll talk about that next week when everybody's here.
Okay,